create your future vision. And the importance of creating your future vision is specifically more relevant in these times when there's a lot of uncertainty and, let's say, a little bit of chaos around the world, is having clarity of where do we want to go in the future and what do we want to create for our lives? What do we want to be able to achieve? And so creating a future vision is ultimately what is going to keep us on track in terms of making progress and moving towards something that where we can maximize our potential as individuals. And so that is the 4 steps of the 5 steps to live your life on purpose. Create your future vision. And that is also really important if I relate back to the first video I showed about value creation and connection. So creating your future vision is important to be able to see how you're going to make your impact in the world. What are the values you're going to be able to create in order to serve people around you and derive meaning and fulfillment out of that, and indirectly or directly derive cash flow from it too. So the importance of having a clear vision is to have a clear direction, because if you don't have a clear direction, well, you might end up somewhere, but that might not be really the place you want to be. And so unless you decide and clarify where you want to go, you'll go somewhere where people might push you around, but you might not feel really satisfied with it, or you might not really like it. And if you end up in a place that you don't want to be, you might start to resent yourself and resent others because you just wasted time. Having a clear vision is important to stay focused. The reason is because there's so many things happening around us in the world. And so it's very easy for us to get distracted. One of the most common things that the brain thrives on is on novelty. So every time there's a bright, shiny object, there's a new thing, we get distracted, our brain gets attracted to it, and we just start to focus on it. And so having a clear vision is the difference between focusing on the important things or reacting to whatever bright, shiny objects are going around, or sometimes opportunities, but they are really distractions. Having a strong vision and a clear vision is really important to overcome obstacles, because every day we're getting challenged, we're getting tested. And only by having a clear vision is what's going to allow us to push through and break through these obstacles, knowing that we're looking for something that is important to us, that is important and meaningful to us, and we are willing to overcome whatever obstacle comes in the way. So especially in these days when society is a very fast-paced society, things change very fast. So we're constantly bombarded with obstacles. And so the clarity of your vision is what is going to allow you to break through those obstacles and navigate and not get attached to bright, shiny objects and distractions, but really stay focused on what it is that really matters most to you and what it is that you really want to create and achieve. If you don't have a vision, you will still be part of someone else's vision. Now, if the other person's vision is aligned with yours, great. You will both work together and collaborate and synergize and work as a unity towards some greater vision. However, if you buy someone else's vision and this is not really aligned with who you are, that's where you're going to struggle. That's where this is going to create internal conflict, because you're chasing something that is not really true to you. So these are the 4 important points of why having a clear vision is really important. Now, again, we have a little exercise also to help you just determine currently where are you sitting right now with the clarity of your vision and purpose and your mission. And so this an exercise, a little quiz that you have on page 18 of your manual. How clear are you about owning your future? Because if you want to own your future, you need to know where you're going to go. You need to know what is meaningful to you. And you need to know also what kind of mission you want to dedicate your life to. And so just go through this simple exercise and again, score yourself from 0 to 10 in each area. Now, this is just a snapshot, a current snapshot of where you are. And the difference between the score you're going to have and 50 is just highlighting to you the opportunity that lies behind. The opportunities that lies in front of you. So it's not a problem. It's just a new level of awareness that potentially points you to the direction of what you can do to really resolve that point and increase your score. So here's a quote that I like from Helen Keller. And she says, "The only thing worse than being blind is having sight but no vision." So what does that mean? Having sight is mean you see things, but you're not really clear on where you're going. So when you have sight, it's very easy to get distracted with bright shiny objects, as I said before, or opportunities, but they're really distraction disguised as opportunity. So when you have sight, you can see everything. But when you have vision, you know what you need to look at. And you can sort out the cloud, the noise, and the mess out there. So you can focus on what's most important and meaningful to you and do some deep work to be able to bring about your most authentic contribution to the world. And so I have a little exercise for you that you can do on your own time, which is called the magic wand. And I like this exercise, the magic wand, which is in page 19 of your manual. And basically what the magic wand is about giving yourself permission to dream without putting any limitation of constraint onto your thinking process. And so the way you do the magic wand, usually we use a time frame. So for example, you can do the magic wand and say, okay, in 12 months time, or if you have 1 year in front of you. And the way you do the exercise is you want to do the exercise considering that first you have all the resources you need. So it could be the resources of time, of energy, of space, of money, of information. So you have all the resources you need. Money is not an issue. So whatever you're going to choose to write about and talk about is not going to be limited by your current state of finances. So you don't want to use your current state of finances to limit your future. The third thing that you want is that no matter what you're going to choose to do and dream about, you have permission and you have approval for it. You don't need to get extra approval. You already have it. And the last step is when you do this exercise, you're not allowed to have any fear, shame, or guilt, because those are the major constraints that blunts people's creativity and imagination. And so I repeat, the magic wand exercise is a very powerful exercise to be able to unlock your creativity and see what's possible. So you have all the resources you need. Money is not an issue. You have all the approval and permission that you need, should you need any. And you cannot have any fear, shame, or guilt. And when you put yourself in that state of mind, just let your mind pour down onto the paper and write freely. What would you like to do in the next 12 months? If all these conditions were met, what would you do? And just give yourself permission to explore that possibility. So I really recommend you to do this exercise. It's very powerful. It will also help you identify maybe some potential things that you say, oh, I didn't think about that. Can I explore that a little bit more? Or it might also reveal that sometimes you shortchange yourself because you're expecting to get some form of approval, or you have some fear or shame or guilt or any kind of roadblock in between of that and your dream. So really take the time to go and do the magic wand. So what would you be doing in the next 12 months if you have all the resources you need? Money is not an issue. You have all the approval and permission that are required. And whatever you choose to do, you cannot fail, and you don't have fear, shame, or guilt. Now, there's another activity that you can do, and this one is more about a long-term perspective, but vision is all about long-term perspective. And this one is, imagine if someone were come to you and say, I'd like to write a Wikipedia entry for you. Tell me what I need to write. What would you want me to write? So Wikipedia entry is like your biography, but this is the biography that everyone's going to be able to see. And so how would you like to be described as? How would you like to be remembered as? What would you write in your Wikipedia entry? What word would you choose? What cause would you support? What work would you define your life? And so again, it's not about doing it quickly. It's about really taking the time, slowing down, and giving yourself permission to write that Wikipedia entry. Consider that almost as your eulogy. And that will allow you to see, as you write that Wikipedia entry, that eulogy, you're going to start to see that what is really meaningful and important to you in your life. And this is going to give you a little bit more clarity about what is your vision, what is your mission, and what is your purpose here. So again, the things that you're going to write for that is the things that are the most important and meaningful to you. And so do the exercise, take the time. There's no rush for that. But know that what will come out of that will be big, greater clarity, greater certainty, and greater confidence of why you're here on this planet and what is your specific role and what is the unique value creation that you have to bring to this planet and to the people around you. So creating a vision, clarifying your future vision is all about developing personal leadership. The reason you want to have a vision is because if there's no vision, there's no motion. Because no vision, there's no reason to do something about it. So your vision, in other words, is your why. And without a why, there's no action, there's no movement. According to the law of least effort, you're not going to expend any amount of energy if there's not a strong reason behind it, if it's not essential, if it's not crucial, if it's not something that inspires you. So remember that. No vision, no reason, no motion. But once you start to clarify and craft your own vision, you start to unlock the reason behind motion. If you don't have a personal vision, then you might fall into someone else's vision. And that's okay, as long as that person's vision is aligned with your values and who you are and your identity, that's fine. You can contribute to their vision and bring your unique competitive advantage to that. However, if you default into someone else's vision that has nothing to do with who you are, that you don't resonate with, that you're not aligned with, then you're going to struggle. So the only choices for you is to work on your personal vision if you want to get out of this. And then a vision is something that you constantly revisit, update, and refine. A vision is a direction, it's not a goal. It's a direction. And so keep refining the direction. You know, if you think about the airplane when they travel from one continent to the other, we all think that they go in a straight line, but they never go really in a straight line. They're constantly readjusting their course. They're still going to the same direction, but they're constantly readjusting their course, refining their vision, constantly refining their flight path. And so it's the same thing for your vision. You might start today and write your vision. And then next month, you might change your vision, add a few more words, change, tweak some words, tweak some sentences. And that's okay. You'll have the overall message. And so give yourself permission to revisit and update your vision and refine it as you move along. This is the most important part you can do. The more you work on your vision, the more you're going to get clarity about who you are, clarity about your identity, clarity about your direction, certainty about the importance of choosing that direction, and confidence that this is what you're here to do. And no matter what happens, you're going to put in place a system or a strategy to allow you to progress towards that vision. The goal is not necessarily to reach the vision. The goal is to enjoy the journey on the way to the vision. Because if your only expectation is, I'm going to be happy and content and fulfilled once I reach my vision, then you're postponing everything that is possible right now in this moment. So instead of focusing on the perfection of achieving the vision, focus on making consistent progress towards that vision and enjoying and appreciating and being grateful for each moment, each little steps that you make to progress towards moving towards that vision, that greater vision.